What's going on, viewers? So another act proposal was introduced today, well, early yesterday, by the Democrats, proposing monthly payments of $2,000 to Americans during the pandemic. The monthly check would be available to every person with an annual income less than $120,000 during the pandemic and for 3 months after, according to Harris Senate office. It's also retroactive to March. Okay, so if you're like a single taxpayer, you would get, and you make up to 100,000, you'll get the $2,000 benefit. If you're married and you make up to 100,000, so as a pair, you would get 2,000 each, and 3 kids could also receive, up to 3 kids could receive 2,000 each. Retroactive to March, so that's, if you a family of 5, that's 10 racks, 10 stacks for that ass per month. 20 stacks. Okay, it is what it is. If you're head of household, you can make up to 150. Anything above 120,000, anything above 150, you won't receive the benefit, right? So this is supposed to be created by the Democrats, Senator Harris, Senator Sanders, and Senator Markey. I believe they're Democrats, right? And they're supposed to introduce this to help the people. Help the people, right? Help the people. Okay, yeah, it's about helping the people, right? Helping the people. Helping the people. But there's also a sentiment of like waiting to see how the CARES Act that was signed by the president at the end of March, waiting to see how the CARES Act has affected the economy now. Like they want to wait and see before any bill gets passed or signed. There's talks of how the political officials, want to wait and see how things are working out. I mean, man, this is just like, what are you waiting and see? What are you going to wait and see? You scared? What are y'all scared? You trying to develop a strategy to overthrow each other? The Democrats trying to make the Republicans look bad. So, see, this is the thing. This is just my opinion. Like, the Heroes Fund and all these things, uh, payment to the employees or the People Act that can, all the Patriot, Boost, all this stuff, 2 trillion dollar coin, all these proposals, monthly economic stuff, right? Clearly is because there's a need right now. There's a need. But they're talking about waiting to see how the CARES Act has helped the economy right now. The unemployment rate is as high as it was in the Great Depression. And I was saying that back then. And those numbers they give out, I'm sure that's not even the real numbers. I'm sure those numbers are higher because people were unemployed before COVID. My goodness. But that's not even talked about. They're just going by these numbers that the Department of Labor issues out. Fine. Over 30 million people. Now they're saying it's 15% of the population, could be 20%. Haven't seen these numbers since the Great Depression. Well, yeah. These are unprecedented times, right? Shouldn't unprecedented times be met with unprecedented solutions? And then worry about everything else later? Right? No, they just want to turn the country back on. Turn the country back on. And the country's not off, but you know what I mean. As far as the economy, and like the president, for example, He really is not in favor of having more checks cut out and sent to people. He wants businesses to be incentivized through a payroll tax type of structure where they hire back their employees and they'll have like this payroll tax incentive in place. And see, but that's all well and good, but what does that, how is that even quantified? Like, they can't even give you an example of what that would look like for a regular average person going back to work if their employer's, on board with this payroll tax thing. What will your check look like, right? Because the problem is people are starving right now. People are desperate right now. People are scared. I mean, scared on every level. And each day that goes by, it gets much more difficult. Even when you're receiving, for those who have been lucky enough to receive unemployment, that's just getting them by. That's just getting them by. Because in many cases, they're playing catch up right now because we're only 2 months into, a little bit over 2 months into this. And folks still haven't received their unemployment. Folks still haven't received their $1,200 stimulus jump off. The $1,200 jump. And where do they come with these numbers? Where does 1,200? What's 2,000? Like, why do they come with these numbers? Like, 1,200? Oh, yo, 2,000? Oh, where do they come with these numbers? And then the argument also is, the government doesn't want to pay for it. Because like with this plan right here, that's hundreds of billions of dollars per month. Hundreds of billions of dollars per month. But I thought this was, an unprecedented global pandemic taking place here. I thought this, I mean, what are we doing? We're working with insanity. We're working with things that have been, unseen before. So just bring, hey, everyone can have an opinion. We all entitled to them, just like we have buttholes. We're entitled, okay? If there's a need, try to do your best to fulfill it. Try to do your best. Who wants to, what does the tax cut look like? Right? What does the payroll tax cut, what's that going to look like? And then this is the thing. We're talking about stuff that hasn't even been materialized. Because right now, stomachs are rumbling. Ribs are touching. And for those who don't understand my vernacular, sometimes when I say certain things, it is what it is. 20 racks is $20,000, okay? Ribs are touching me. People are starving. People are starving right now. And you're talking about, these bills and Democrats don't get along. Can't, they gotta, House of Representatives gotta argue or do this, and then they gotta go to the Senate and convince the Senate. They gotta bicker and then come to an agreement, and then go to send it to the president, who may veto the bill. All this is going on. Meanwhile, people are they're out of work. They're being told to stay home. They're walking around positive with COVID. They don't know it. They're told they have to wear a mask. They're told in New York, wear a mask, because the mask will be saving other people, including yourself. But wear that mask. But Cuomo himself hasn't worn a mask. Go figure. The president hasn't worn one mask. Right? Go figure. Go figure. And the vice president hasn't worn a mask. I remember he visited someone in the hospital a couple weeks back. They were showing it, and that brought up too. And then there was some talks when he said maybe he should have wore a mask. Oh my goodness, man! This is entertainment, and it's a sick, satirical type of entertainment. It's a tragic comedy because people are dying, people are suffering, and these folks are just like living in their own citadels, like in their own country in the sky. What, they got a deal going on where they made some agreement with some like extraterrestrials, and they could just leave and everyone else is fucked. I don't understand. What are you doing? What's going on here? This is why I say they're kowtowing to greater entity that is unbeknownst to the people, unbeknownst to the masses, because the people can't handle the truth. People can't handle the truth. Everyone can't handle the truth. It's too painful. It's too gut-wrenching. It's in your face. So they prefer to be lied to. And that's a lot of people prefer lies and illusions. Comfortable. Just turn on the boob tube and be lulled to sleep. And continue to panic and suffer all kinds of emotional, psychological issues, social issues, definitely financial, devastation, health, poor health. All these things affect our well-being too, Those who were once well are not as well before. I know somebody who's a dentist. The motherfucker losing his mind, yo. Nigga talks to himself now. Talking to himself. A very upbeat dude, trying to be cheerful and everything. But you can see, it's like, yo, he's losing it. And that's one of many. People are losing it. Not impressed with these stimulus package. They tell you don't pay rent. Don't pay. They telling landlords you can't evict anybody for 3 months in New York City, or until August 20th in New York City. Can't evict nobody. You can't charge your tenants late fees. And not giving the landlords an out. Like, explain to the landlords, well, how are they going to manage, if they have mortgage obligations, principal, interest, taxes, insurance? How are they going to? Oh, we'll get to that bridge. And folks, and the argument is, well, how you expect people to pay if they got to deal with this health pandemic crisis? They're not working. But every day you just hoping for a stimulus, hoping for Big Daddy, Granddaddy government to come bail us out. They can't do it. Look at what they're doing. Look at how. Let me give you an example. Well, this is the best example. Look at the CARES Act. How's that working out for all of us? The CARES Act that they want to see how it's turning, that these political officials like Pelosi and even the president want to just hold off and see first. How's the $10 trillion CARES Act? Because it's 10. Not some 2.3 or some 4 or 6, is 10. How did this $10 trillion thing work out? How's that working out? It's not it's not working. It's not working. How's unemployment? Like, it's crazy. You have food banks that are running short on food. You have farmers, slaughtering or getting rid of their crops, dumping milk, thousands of milk, because schools are closed. They can't make any orders. They have no one to sell their crops to. Food shortage. You have ghetto ass supermarkets in the hood that are selling bad produce, that are selling bad meats at a higher price point. Price gouging, in other words, in the hood. It's happening. Again, Spend $100, you walk out with 3 bags of groceries. Back in the days, as recent as maybe 4 or 5 months ago, no, you could walk out with a little bit more than 3 bags of groceries if you spend $100. Now, no. So how do you think it's going, people? Like CARES Act, do you think it's really helping well? How's the CARES Act helping us right now? Oh, we're infusing, we've created so many masks, and it's a wonderful country, and you do an incredible job, incredible tests and testing and contact tracing, and this initiative, and reopen this country and all this. What? Like, again, people playing with your intelligence, man. They're playing with your intelligence, trying to manipulate you. Puppet masters. And they're already puppets for greater entities than you and I both know. It's reality. Reality. And the people up top, I don't know what they got going. I don't know. I don't want to know. I try to, err on the side of something good, a great, the divine intelligence, cosmic intelligence, rather than something nefarious and suspect. I don't go by what they go by, because they're going by something else. You can't tell me you subscribe to, a higher power, the highest power, and this is how you carrying on. How? How? Come on, man. Like this. I tell you, I bet you it's Saturday now. I bet you by Monday there'll be another new stimulus proposal. That should be another stimulus proposal. How many we at? Like, what this is? 7, 8, 9. I lost count. 10,000 a month. Whether it's gonna be 10,000 or 5 or 1,000 or 20,000, something got to get done. Clearly, something got to get done. You can't compare this to 9/11. You can't compare this to Hurricane Sandy. You can't compare this to, the different events that took place. I'm a man of a certain age, so I lived through a lot. But like this right here is a different breed. This is a different animal right now. Then you have children now who have possibly been exposed to COVID, who are developing symptoms of another disease called Kawasaki. What's good with the murder hornets? What's going on, people? But this Kawasaki thing is taking lives of little kids. I've said this a lot. We have to save the kids. If there's going to be any type of revolt, any form of uprising that takes place, it will come from our youth. It will start and come from our youth. Not us old fogies who talk shit and can't do shit. It will stem from the young people up to maybe age 30. They're the ones that are going to have to really step up and represent. Then to hear that children, are trafficked, are used as commodities, are susceptible to all types of the world's every aspect of the wickedness that man can drum up, are not protected. These are part of the reasons why in many revolutions that have taken place, the young people spearheaded these revolutions. If you think I'm wrong, it's your opinion. That's fine. But they've gone through their own forms of devastation and are going ongoing on an ongoing basis, are going through their own forms of devastation, unconscionable acts, unconscionable levels of abuse, death, pillage to the children. And then we now going to complain about certain things, but we failing them though. We're failing them. We're failing them. I always support kids. I love children. I love young people because I was once young. I understand the cycles of life. It's clear. And I celebrate each phase. But the young people, that's my heart. And when they have to go through such evil wickedness that's currently taking place, that actually is not on the forefront, that's not really being talked about, that's been taking place for time immemorial. That shows me that the elders ain't shit. That people, we ain't shit. The powers that be, the elitists, the oligarchs, these families that run the world, etc., 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 we ain't shit. Because we continue to feed and allow, we feed into the BS, the bullshit that we're given by these intermediaries, and we allow the intermediaries to kowtow and victimize our precious youth. That's the lifeblood of the future. Being ashamed of ourselves is an understatement. Such travesty. This is deplorable, unconscionable. But when you're a sociopath and when you're a psychopath, you're void of any type of conscience. So I get it. But that still doesn't excuse us turning a blind eye to the truth, or denying ourselves the opportunity to really embrace the truth, no matter how difficult it is, and then do something about it.